Rock the Ripple. Rock the Ripple. The Rock the Ripple podcast with Narita McInnes.
Let's do this. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Rock the Ripple podcast. I'm your host, Narita McInnes. It is so awesome to be here with you as always. And as always, today is another very exciting day because I have yet another very special guest on the show. She is a portal spotter, nature lover, connector of hearts, creator of many amazing products, founder of the Heart of Bilje, and social media coordinator for the Lay Love Down project. There is, of course, so much more to this incredible human. She is the beautiful inside and out Biljiana Radoicic. Billy, I hope I said your last name right. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me here. Yeah, no one can ever get my last name right, but that's okay.
How the hell do you say it? Can you please tell me?
Radoicic.
Oh, Radoicic. I was going to say that, but then, I thought maybe it was the other way. So anyway, that's fine. We got there and you're on the show. That's the main thing, isn't it?
Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, it's I've never done a podcast before or any sort of interviews, so yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Nervous but excited. And my friend always says, like, when you're nervous, it's because you care.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always keep that in mind.
Absolutely, absolutely. If there's no nerves, then I agree with your friend, and I've often said that myself too, because you do care, and you just, this is just a chin wag where we're just going to have a bit of fun anyway. So, now I know you've watched a few of the podcast episodes before, so at the start I'm probably going to say, well, Billy, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a bit more. So, do you want to let everyone know a bit more about who you are? Who is Billy?
Wow. I haven't wrote some notes down to where do I start? Do I start at the beginning? Do I start what I'm doing now? But I think I'm just going to let it flow.
Mhm.
So I grew up in Victoria, and that's where I am at the moment. Just your, I suppose your everyday kid, loved soccer, played soccer, from 6 years old till I was about 21. So that was basically my obsession for a long time. And I suppose because growing up, life was a bit tricky at home, it was quite tough. So that was my escape, go out in the field. And I really enjoyed playing in a team. So I think that's throughout my whole life, it's kind of been a theme, working in a team. And yeah, so that was most of my childhood. What else? I went to TAFE and studied adventure ecotourism and outdoor recreation. So I ended up being a adventure guide, so teaching rock climbing, abseiling, canoeing, that sort of stuff. And that kind of led me out to the Grampians National Park in Victoria. So that's kind of where I think a lot of my shifts and growth has come from. I suppose moving away from home and away from family is kind of your mind starts to open up
Mm.
and having new experiences, different people. So yeah, I did that for a few years, and then my life kind of fell apart. Left that job and pretty much called up the local op shop, and I just said, come and collect all my belongings, everything I owned except a few bits and pieces, packed my car, and I was planning a trip around Australia. So headed up to Queensland, and yeah, I think that's when I started to fall back into music, into loving music. I taught myself piano when I was younger.
Mm.
So yeah, and obviously because soccer took over, I didn't have an opportunity to pursue that. And yeah, so music kind of came into my life again, and yeah, I guess that's where it's kind of started. There's a lot more to the story, but I don't know how much more you want to hear. Um, yeah, and yeah, I was up there up until October 2019, and I just got this gut feeling, this calling that I needed to return back to Victoria. And it was November 2019 that I moved back to Victoria and moved to where I am now. But before that, I moved in back with my mum for a little bit just to take care of her and spend time with family. But there was just something I didn't know what was going on in the world. I was not oblivious, but I wasn't fully aware of what's going on now.
Mm.
So I think that's where it started, the waking up and everything. And I just happened to be in Victoria when we got locked down. And so I think that was my purpose, was to come back here in the hardest state, the most locked down state in Australia,
Mm.
and to experience all these hardships, which have been, um, yeah, eye-opening. And yeah, the journey's just kind of started from there.
Mm. Yeah, and just as you're telling your story, I mean, obviously there's so much more to it, like you said, but you had that calling to come back. It's like your intuition knew that this was the next phase of your journey to really awaken to what's going on in the world and to learn, I guess, in the state that was the toughest lockdown. I mean, it was incredibly locked down. So you probably, I guess, it was like a squeeze in a way, was it, for you to sort of see everything that was happening?
Oh, definitely. Like I suppose I never did any external research or learnt about what was going on everywhere else, but I just tried to follow my heart and my gut instinct with everything that I did, because I that's all I could trust. I didn't feel like I could trust anyone around me. Sorry, family. But yeah, I feel like I had to trust just myself. And so after all the lockdowns and everything, like I had a bit of time for myself, and a lot of, everything was coming out and meeting different people. Oh, I had to like absorb it all. So yeah, as people say, they go down the rabbit holes, and I threw myself down and come out the other side. I wouldn't say more knowledgeable, but more aware of the bigger picture
Mm.
and how complicated things have become. But I've kind of come back around to think life is actually quite simple. It can be really simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. And yeah, so that's where, coming back to everything to do with my heart, following my instincts, um, but not fully like just jumping into any decision that I'd come up to, but being aware of my thoughts and everything. And yeah, I get a lot of insight through my dreams as well. So dreams are not just dreams, there's so much more.
Mm.
Still haven't worked them out, but yeah, so it's been a huge journey.
Mm. And I love how you just said then about trust, because I feel like this time is a lot about us coming back to trusting ourselves and our intuition. And it's great to get information from lots of people, and people share their opinion. I mean, that's how we learn and grow and hear their stories. But ultimately, we have to trust ourselves and trust the downloads we're getting and trust our intuition and our inner guidance. And when we sort of give that power away, then we're not listening to ourselves, are we? So it's such a big thing, which is simple as well, but it can, when you've put your trust out there, we do get put in positions where we have to come back to ourselves and trust, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
And I suppose that's where I'm at the moment, where I feel like people are looking to me for a bit of guidance, just kind of in my immediate circle.
Mm,
And I suppose with the things I've been doing, or the different events and projects and that sort of stuff, I have to stay more and more centered, because of like there's so many distractions happening. I've my Telegram and my YouTube channel grows, and then it reduces, and I'm just constantly like back and forth. And I suppose that's that journey for anyone, is you're looking for information, you're looking for, some sort of guidance, I suppose. But yeah, you go through your ebbs and flows where you feel like you need to learn all this information, and you feel like you're lost. But then when you come back to yourself, you realize you've got all the answers in yourself. Yes, so it's been quite interesting lately.
yeah, I love that. I love that. And it's so true. We've got everything we need within, and we do have that knowledge and intuition. It's just coming back to that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. And you just touched on that, you as well around your heart, like everything is coming back to your heart. And I know, I mean, even your website is called Heart of Billy. And there's so many beautiful things on there. And I've been lucky enough to try some of your amazing products as well. I mean, you're a woman of many talents, Billy. And you can see portals as well. We met at the festival and you could see a portal while I was speaking, which was incredible as well. So I don't know. I mean, I'm jumping around a bit because we just had such a good chat. And as soon as I met you, I was like, this chick's awesome. So maybe you can talk a bit about, well, a bit of the nature side of things, perhaps, and then we can talk a bit about your website, like just anything, wherever your heart wants to take you, Heart of Billy.
Well, my passion's always been, I suppose, to do with nature. Like, yes, soccer is more like it's a competitive sport, but I'm always outside. Um, I always wanted to run around bare feet. I was naked a lot when I was younger, climbing trees and all that. So I just wanted to really connect with nature. And as the years have gone on, the people and family and that obviously it's and society have disconnected from that.
Mm,
So it's really going back to that. And yeah, everything that I do in my life, I just seems to be heart centered and then connecting with nature. So it doesn't have to be necessarily just going out into the bush and connecting with trees and that sort of thing. Like it's connecting with your animals around you. I've always attracted dogs. Like I've got 3 dogs at the moment at my house, so it's crazy. So
awesome.
connecting with so many things around you is what I feel is important. Even nature, we are nature. So connecting with the people, even just in your community, is so important. So um, yeah, I've been focusing a lot on that in my own um, yeah, in my own area. And I feel like that's helped a lot with grounding myself and centering myself. And that's where I suppose my project of um, the heart-centered things, like my products that I make, the soaps and the creams and that sort of stuff, has come from wanting to use nature to then, offer it to other people. But it started when recently my health kind of went downhill a little bit. So I wanted to look for things that were good for you that are in your surroundings and also that I could grow myself and get locally.
Mm.
So that's kind of where the inspiration has come from recently. And I just love being outside in the garden. Like every house I've been to and lived, I've always wanted a garden, whether I was in a small little unit. I always had a patch of something, even if it was just tomatoes. I want
Mm.
to grow something. And I suppose that's my way of being creative. People have got they been to photography or they're painting or writing like yourself.
Mm.
So that's kind of my creative outlet. And like it's an amazing thing to grow from a seed, a plant into something beautiful that can benefit so many different things. The insects, even the animals around. Like my dogs just love the plants around. So giving them something as well.
Mm.
And yeah, I suppose everything comes back to that. The gardening. My grandma and my mum are super into that. My mum sells fresh produce where she is, so it's kind of in the family.
That's
And we kind of like share products and stuff, so we can, we'll sell it to her market and she sells it mine. So yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, that's so cool. It's so cool. And I love how you said that because we all have different pieces of the puzzle and some create and the creative outlet. I mean, to be able to watch a seed like or plant a seed and then watch it grow, I mean, that is magical and that is nature. And you're right, it just provides for so many different things as well. And I love that it's your creative outlet. But not only that, I know that you also help people to create their gardens and bring in herbs. Like you really understand herbs and you understand all of that sort of stuff. Like because I'm not a super green thumb. I can water a plant, but that's, and I talk to my plants, and I love trees. But do I have a beautiful garden that yours sounds like? No, but I do aspire to that one day. So I'll get you onto it. But all of these beautiful things, like it is all part of nature. And we all have that piece of the puzzle, don't we, to bring to life what we're here to bring into the world. And yeah, so you do help people create gardens too, don't you? So along
Yes,
those lines,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I was going to start out just a herb garden, and to make it a special place where you, like, if you've got just a small area and you can put a chair and you can sit there and enjoy it there, like with your cup of tea or coffee in the morning. But I thought not everyone uses herbs, so I just kind of wanted to have it as a garden.
Mm,
So having that is so important for people. Like, rather than having to leave your house to find a nice place to relax, not everyone has time for that. So I thought, you can do that in your own home, and that's so much more important, is to focus on where you are the moment, and then also with your family, like doing it together as a family as well. So yeah, I do that as well, and I started a growers group just from my area. Who knows, it could get bigger. I'm
it
I'm
could
open
grow.
to, yeah, I'm open to for it to expand. So at the moment, it's just about growing veggies and fruit and that sort of thing. And so I've got 33 members at the moment, just in
Mm,
the area, and just sharing ideas, skills, plants, seeds. We'll plan some working bees, so the members can go to each other's houses, help each other build gardens, this sort of thing. Bringing it back to really simple, basic ideas. It doesn't have to be complicated.
mm,
And people ask me, when I go to the local markets, how do you know all this stuff? How do you know about like these plants and herbs and what they do? It originally started with, well, I grew up with my grandma and mum teaching me this just from everyday chats and using it. But I did a little bit of research, and then I felt it was just too much in the mind, like really learning about the chemical reactions and all this sort of stuff. And I was like, it was literally doing my head in. I was like, I can't think like that. I have to think through my heart. So I thought, well, what are the things I can grow at home that I really love? And calendula was one. I haven't got one here. No, it's just like a little yellow flower, and it's amazing, like self seeds. And I just thought, how about I just focus on the simple plants that I can look at every day, and rather than trying to plant um, or a variety of different plants. And a lot of people say, well, do you grow natives? No, I don't, because a lot of them don't grow in this area.
mm,
And like, nature is nature. Everything is native to this planet.
mm.
So it doesn't have to be native just to Australia. Everything is.
Oh, just frozen.
Oh yes, so I was talking about, because a lot of people, when they come to the market, do you have any natives, like in your herbal teas or in my products? And I say to them no, because it's not what I grow in my garden. So I try to explain to them, it's everything I use. It's in my immediate surroundings, and when I do go forage, it's for things that are seasonal. So, like your rose hips, or what are they called? Dog rose, briar rose, I think it is.
Hmm.
So many names. And that's grown like on just near farmlands and that sort of thing. So I go and drive around and look for sorts of things like that. Um, Apples. So I use apples in my herbal tea. So there's just, you know, random wild apple trees around, which are amazing, like just juiciest apples. Yeah.
Really?
So
Yeah.
yeah, people should go forage more often.
Mm. Yeah, you're definitely inspiring me too, that's for sure. Apples in tea. I actually have never heard of that. Have I been living under a rock or?
Well, I just figured, something because I make different teas. I don't say like, oh, it's only good for this or it's only good for that. But, apples, as people say it's good for your gut. So having an apple a day, so I was like, you know what? What's the difference in eating it or drinking it? You're still getting the same benefit out of it.
Mm.
So, yeah, keeping it simple.
Keeping it simple. I love that. And I definitely love that. I love to keep things as simple as possible because like you said before, we do overcomplicate things sometimes and it doesn't need to be. Like if we come back to that, and I love how much you're working with the community, because I think, knowing our community, knowing who can do what and how we can sort of lean on each other or help or provide for each other in different ways is so important and so powerful. And I think because we're all just humans, we're all just people, doing the best we can. So if we can support each other in any way we can, like it's such a powerful way to go, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I suppose that's where a lot of my drive comes from is helping others.
Mm.
Well, I must admit I don't help myself a lot,
Yeah, that's a big
but
part of it,
hence why I have three dogs in the backyard.
hey?
Um, but like and that's just coming from conditioning growing up. Uh, but I feel like the more I work on myself and learn all these sorts of things, I want to share it with other people. So even if I share too much or give too much away, like what's the harm in that? In helping others, it's only just my time, I guess, and I'm getting a bit tired or overworked. But at the end of the day, you're sharing with other people, and you're trying to make this place better as best as you can.
Mm.
So, I feel like that's, you know, not such a bad thing.
Yeah. And I think like what you said too, like the more you do the work on yourself as well, like you have more to give and more to share. I mean, it's the age-old saying, you fill your cup up, like you can't pour from an empty cup. So the more that you take that time for yourself as well, like in between looking after three dogs and and a garden, it allows for you to even serve even more. It's such a powerful thing too, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And like over the years, like even just watching your podcasts and just all these people, the people that you've had on and everything, and I just looking up to them, and that's my first mistake is looking up to people,
Mm,
thinking they have it all or they've got it all worked out, or I don't have anything to share, but feel like that, you know, we need to bring it back to ourselves. We've all got something to share, and we have to be different.
mm,
We have to have different ideas. We can't all know it all, because then we wouldn't learn,
mm,
and life would be pretty boring. We've all got it figured out. So I've really tried to bring it back to basics of helping just the community. I thought I needed to do this massive big thing of like helping everyone in Australia or anything like that. No, bring it back to my own community. So even like apart from my projects, like even just joining the local senior citizens, like I wanted to hire it for one of my workshops. And the president was there, and he's like, "Would you like to be a secretary?" I was like, "Well, what does that entail? What does that mean?" So signed up, and that was May this year. So I'm still the secretary. I'm now the treasurer as well. So I'm just like taking on too much probably, but I feel like the kind of the older generation have just been pushed to the side, and they're not given any respect. Like the life that they've endured,
mm,
like it's immense. Like they've been so suppressed and indoctrinated for so many years, and I come in there, with a fresh idea about, giving back to them has really inspired me a lot to, keep it simple. and to really bring it back to just my own environment. So I give to them and they give back tenfold to me. So yeah, it's really awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, how beautiful is that? And because that is something too, is like people are like we're going if we're lucky and we get to keep growing old, we will be older. But that's where the wisdom comes in and you know, just to be pushed to the side, like you said. I mean, they would be getting so much out of it as well with I can imagine having you around would just be awesome. And just inspiring each other, I reckon. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great fun. Like they had a old time ball recently. I didn't get to go, I had to work. But like they're, so excited, like, in their 70s, 80s, 90s, and they're still dancing. I don't see many young people out dancing like with the amount of energy and passion that the older generation do. So we should follow them.
Yeah. We'll be dancing. We'll be dancing in our 90s, hundreds, or wherever we go to. That's my plan. I want to be able to still rock out by then as well. So I'll take
Yeah,
that inspiration from those guys then for sure.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, so good. And I mean, there's so much else that you do as well too. I mean, another thing that we that you do is you're the your social media coordinator for the Lay Love Down project, which has taken on such a, I mean, this project is spanning the entire world. And you're now helping spread that word. I mean, that's massive. How are you finding that? I mean, because you are nature as well, like as in nature. I know that
Yeah.
you can spot portals, so you understand the ley lines and everything like that. Do you want to talk a bit more about all of that?
Yeah, so like I'm still learning about, well, it's not really you have to learn it, like you really have to feel into it. Um, yeah, so I can't even remember how I got onto it. It might have been an interview with yourself, Rachel, and Ben that
Mm,
I come across that, and then that's where I went on, checked on the website, and they had the ad on there, the social media coordinator. And I was like, why not? I'm awesome at social media. Not. And yeah, so I've kind of, yeah, I've just taken that on board. It's yeah, a lot of learning. Ben's always sending me videos and memes and all this to like put up, so it's good fun.
yeah, he's a
But
champion.
it's really good to watch it grow on all the platforms and just the different comments and the passion of people. And a lot of people already are aware of all this sort of stuff. So it's really good to get people that are already have a lot of knowledge to come on and just collaborate. So it's nothing new. It's
Mm,
just bringing more awareness to these sorts of things. So I'm really enjoying it. It's helped me look into certain things for myself and look at nature differently.
mm,
Even just looking at trees in a different way and kind of not trying to figure it all out, but just those questions that you ponder when you're out in nature and you just ask yourself, why is it like that? Why is the tree shaped that way? Or, yeah, why do kangaroos and wallabies and why do they have a certain trail that they follow all the time? So it's quite interesting to just ponder those sorts of things. And then when Rachel and Ben, and now they've got Trevor on board, they run their master classes and they're explaining all these sorts of things. It kind of brings it all together. So it's refreshing. And it's just like it's going nuts. Like it's just yeah. Everyone's talking about it now.
mm. It's so
So
good.
it's really good.
Yeah, it's so good. And I mean, those master classes are so fantastic as well for people just to tune in. I mean, yeah, you're right. Like there's nothing new under the sun and it's just bringing awareness to everything that's already there. And when you do take the time to watch the animals and look at the trees and really notice how some of them are shaped a different way and you can sort of, I mean, sometimes it's easier to see a portal or a ley line after you've taken a photo, and that's a good way to sort of start seeing it. But you watch where the kangaroos go. They do always go in a certain song line or dream line or ley line, however you want to say it. And they know what to do. They're so connected with nature, and we're supposed to be that connected too, aren't we? And so when we pay more attention to that, we are able to do that as well too, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm really excited about this, and well, definitely I'll have to get someone else to jump on board with me because it's just, well, yeah, it's to be able to keep up with trying to share not just Lay Love Down content, but that everyone else's content that have been sharing with us.
Mm,
And that's why I find the Telegram group is awesome because people can comment and share videos and pictures, and it's a real community, from all over the world. So Ben's really good with and Rachel as well, but I talk to Ben a lot more. But yeah, getting different groups together in different countries and getting out in the lays, like so many people are getting groups together to go, even just getting together, regardless of it being part of the Lay Love Down project, but getting together and as a with a common goal, just to be in nature and just be like what we how we should be is just being together and connecting with each other, having those, heart to heart conversations that you don't have in your everyday life if you're, working in an office and you don't get to communicate with these really important things. You have a job to do. So it's really refreshing, all these groups that are coming together, and yeah, I'm so happy to be a part of it, even though I'm not directly involved, but I mean indirectly I'm helping that. So yeah,
mm.
I'm so excited about the future.
Yeah, no, you're definitely involved, mate. Absolutely. I think every single person that is part of that project is involved. I mean, it's just, and we're all playing our little parts. And I love that too, because like in the Telegram community, there's people like sharing the songs that they're singing when they go in there. There's also the Lay Love Down song as well. There's so many different things. And like you said too, it's just coming back to community and just remembering that we are nature and part of nature, and having the intention when we're out in nature to just give love and just to spread the good stuff really, and just to talk to the trees, talk to the animals, talk to the insects, and just remember that we're all a part of each other, and just share that lay love, like the love, it's the that's what we're
Yeah.
spreading. And yeah, so you're definitely a part of that for sure, mate, with everything that you're doing. Every single person that is spreading awareness. And so it's such a beautiful thing, and I love that you're doing that, and that we're all a part of it. It's so cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you found any ley lines or anything, any sacred areas near you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I know. So last year I did Rachel's course. I think it was last year. Now it wouldn't be the year before that. No, it would be last year. I think, anyway, if my memory serves me. But it was so good. I think it was like the second or third one she'd run. And I was out in a spot near me in South Australia, and I took photos. And some of it I could feel and sense that there was something there. But then when I look back at the photos, I'm like, oh my gosh, it was just even more like you could see faces in the trees, you could see different portals and different ley lines coming in. So yeah, absolutely. And I'm so much more aware of it now too, because now that we know, like you know to look for it, but to not force it, of course. It just, you notice it even more. And when people share their photos, like even if someone's not part of the Lay Love Down project, but they're sharing a photo, maybe they've been overseas or something, and you can sort of spot portals and ley lines in there as well. So I find that really powerful too. And it's definitely opened my eyes to even more of the magical brilliance of nature. So yeah, and I do yeah, I think I'm due for another little portal trek, I reckon. A ley line trek, I think, and do some singing in some ley lines. So if I do, I'll know I'll be sending it to you to share.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like because I'm normally um over the years, I've always have a couple of trips of the year where I go somewhere. I'm
Mm.
feeling a road trip,
Yeah.
so who knows? I might come over to South Australia, bring my dog with me, and yeah, we
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
go venturing.
Yes. Yeah. Well, definitely let me know if you're here because that will be really cool. We can sing somewhere together. Or the dogs can bark into the ley lines. Ruh, 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 ruh. That's them singing. Oh, that's so cool, mate.
Yeah.
So cool.
So yeah, the thing I was going to mention, a lot of it's like lay love down, or even just the ley lines. I know it's focusing more on being in nature, but I was just even thinking about in town, in
Mm.
my actual town where it's built up,
Yeah.
and just taking notice of like how I feel in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know there's roads and all that sort of stuff. It's stopping you from being on the actual ground. But even just being in certain areas where there's buildings, like big buildings that have been built in certain spots for a reason, it's not all by accident. So just taking notice of how I feel when I even go into a certain building, and just, yeah, bringing that like awareness to like, why do I feel like this when I walk into a building, and observing how everyone else is. Like, if they're, really happy, or they're really stuck in like a negative state, just taking notice of these things around you. So that's kind of helped me be a bit more aware of where I live, and not just out in the bush. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really glad you said that as well, too, because it doesn't matter where you are, you can still tap into whatever is there. And so, I mean, I do that too. I'm the same. And you can, if you're aware of where you're at, and also like if something does feel a bit off, you can sort of, okay, I know that's not me. You can sort of ask that question, is this mine? And and you'll know straight away in your gut, no, it's not. So what you can do is bring in your intention and spread your love and whatever that you want to bring to it. If it feels really off, well, you can just get the hell out of there as well too. There's always just
Yeah.
learning, and that's part of learning to follow your intuition and to trust your guidance as well too. Like we were talking about at the start, like that's a huge part of it as well. And I mean, I'm thinking of different places around the place where they've one of the places has like a round, like a literally a round circle at the front of their building. I'm like, is that what, or is that for a ley line? What is that about? And I've only ever driven past it, so I haven't stood there, but it gets you thinking as well. But yeah, so I'm so glad you said that because it doesn't matter where you are, and you can be on the beach as well. And just your local park, or even just, walking down the street or in a building, like you said, just to tap into it. It's so powerful, isn't it?
Yeah. For an example, like when I do go into the senior sits building, it's not the building itself, it's when the people are in there. I feel it really heavy, like so they're holding on to so much that when I leave, I've just got this massive headache. And it's every Thursday I go there.
Mm,
So I know it's connected to that. And I don't feel negativity or anything. It's just a real heavy, dense energy. And so I have to really just take time out, and I don't really know how to clear myself, really. Um I tried just with the intention, but
mhm.
so even just noticing that like is really huge. So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you, before you go in, do you sort of set an energy protection, or you can use some tuning forks or something like that just to clear your energy, and you can use it after as well too?
And I use more just my intention. Like
Hmm.
I'm going in there, like I just want to be there, be a positive energy for them, just to, I don't know, just make their life easier,
Hmm.
and not to share my opinions or anything like that, but just to be a good energy in that space is all I kind of is my intention. So
Hmm.
just, yeah. And I know there's always going to be a lot of pushback and a lot of negative comments coming from them, not towards me, but just in general. But I just go with it. I just go, you know what? It's just they've had a lifetime of suppression and just they've have to push down their feelings and their opinions, and their heart is just like there's a massive wall in front of their heart. So it's just accepting that, but just being there with some love. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think because you are like a big ball of love and you're a big ball of light as well, you know, that our energy is attracted to that too. So not necessarily the person, but the energy that is that sort of heaviness. So, oh, look, there's some light, and that's why you can probably you go out feeling that. So if you, with your intention to still spread love, still listen, still hear, but also set that a bubble or whatever it might be with your intention, so that you still are that beautiful soul walking in and hearing what people have to say, but it doesn't sink in, like seep in as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
working on it.
Yeah, well, we all are, mate. Don't you worry about that. Like it's like we don't remember to do this stuff all the time, and it's clear to me how big your heart is and how much you just want to be there and help others, and it's so beautiful. It's just such a beautiful thing. I think we need more people like that in the world,
I don't know
and
anything else. That's all.
yeah. You just got a big heart, Billy. That's why it's called Heart of Billy. I mean, bloody hell, what an
Yeah.
awesome name for the web.
Well, technically it's Bilje
Oh,
because
am I saying it wrong this whole time?
no, that's all right. Like people just think it's Billy because it's that's my nickname anyway. But
Oh,
I
yeah,
did a bit of research into my background because that's Slovenian and Serbian in my background.
that's right.
And I don't know how it came about, but might have been doing a bit of meditation and stuff like that, just to kind of get some ideas for of a name for my project. And I ended up researching a word or in Slovenian that related to maybe herbs or plants and stuff. And Bilje, apparently it's a Slavic name for plants and herbs. So I was just like, oh, well, that's cool. And it's also the short name of my full name, Biljiana. So
Mm,
I was like, well, if that's meant to be, then good.
mm.
If I'm wrong, doesn't matter. I don't care. It's
No, you're following your heart on that one.
yeah,
You're smashing it.
yeah.
So how do you say it then? So Heart of
Bilje.
Billier. That sounds
Yeah.
so cool. That sounds so cool. I know we spoke about that, but I think when we first met, you said Billiana, and so I had Billiana in my head. So, and I can understand why the nickname is Billy because that comes from that. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's so cool. How awesome! It's
Yeah.
meant to be, I reckon.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
You
Just
know,
going with it. I'm not
yeah,
I'm not thinking about it too much.
yeah. Just roll with it, mate. Just roll with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of hearts, there's so much that we can talk about here. Is there anything else on your heart that you would love to share today?
Mhm. I think it's all about learning as much as you can about yourself and and not worrying too much about the external things of like what's going on, and just trying to stay centered as much as you can. Look after yourself first and foremost, and then your family. If you got pets as well, their family as well, and keeping it simple. Was that the KISS method that I've been brought up with? Like KISS, keep it simple.
Mm,
Stupid.
yeah. I changed it to keep it simple, spiritual warrior.
It's good. And yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
love
like
that you said that. Keep going, sorry.
no, I don't in the moment I'm just like, oh, I don't know what to say. But then after I'm like I got this profound thing, but I'm like, you know what? It's it. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Yeah. Well, let whatever flow through, you know. And I always trust too, like whenever we have a conversation, like whenever I'm having a conversation on the podcast, like I always trust that whatever is supposed to come through will come through. Because like later I'll go, oh, why didn't I ask that question? Bloody hell. Like, or, you know, like just, oh, that would have been great to share in there. But you just got to trust that whatever's meant to come through will, and it's meant to be exactly what it is. And I kind of just really go with that. Do you find that that's the best way too, just with everything?
Yeah, exactly. And like that's why I liked your speech at the festival, the Living Free Festival, when you just said you're going with it. And I was like, yeah, even if you may have felt like that you were unprepared or whatever, you felt silly doing it. But I was like, that's refreshing that it's not planned and you just being yourself. But I even liked the little activities that you got us to do, the exercises and stuff. So that was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like I was just put like I had dot points on a piece of paper that I left in the green room, and I just had to fully just trust what was going to come out, because this was the first time the festival was ever being done as well, and I just went out there, all right, spirit, show me what I got to do. Like, yep, here it goes. And then there was some fun stuff too, wasn't there? A bit of yee-hawing and just a whole lot of other stuff. And then we got to meet afterwards, which was awesome on, I think, the third day. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like you things like I'm a planner, like I have a journal and I love to plan, but at the same time, it can't be all planned out. Otherwise, it's just robotic and it's not real, is it?
Yeah. Speaking of journal, like,
Yeah,
oh, yours, like,
you
this is,
loving it?
yeah, I like printed out there, like, when you got
Oh,
everything.
you
And
got that. Yeah, well, you're smashing it. Look at that. Well done.
yeah, I've taken it everywhere with me in case, like, I want to jot anything down or anything like that. But yeah, it's the next thing will be recording myself with the
Oh,
script and like I said to you, I've always wanted to do something with the heartbeat.
yes.
As soon as I got that idea, like recording the heartbeat, so I've just been waiting, I suppose, for that moment to use it, and I was like, that's perfect.
Mm.
And to record myself saying that script with my heartbeat in the background and listening to that during the day or before I go to sleep or when I wake up, and I was like, that's cool. I want to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
When you shared that idea, I'm like, that is freaking brilliant. I had never thought of that to have the heartbeat, your heartbeat going while you're
yeah,
listening or saying or listening to or saying your frequency shift activation and your shift script. Like that is so cool. I can't wait to
yeah.
hear it when it's ready and work out how to bloody do it myself. So that'll be awesome.
Well, I can come over and we'll do it together.
Oh, look out. We'll be singing in ley lines. We'll be recording our heartbeats. It's going to be action packed, Billy. Speaking of products as well, too, I've got some of your stuff here, too. The nourishing, the body butter and the lip gloss, the lip balm as well. So anyone who's
Oh,
listening to this, you won't be able to see it, but I'm holding it up. So that's really cool. And you've got your soaps and everything too, which are awesome. And they smell so good. They smell with like love and just nature and just awesomeness. So while we're speaking about all of this stuff, where can people find you to check out all the gardening stuff and the workshops that you do, but also your products and just to connect with you and just say good day.
so I've got a website, Heart of Bilje, so heart of bilje.org.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've got, yeah, all my things projects I'm doing. Most of the events I'm doing are in person, so they're in my local area. In the future, I'll do things online, but I do struggle with the online stuff at the moment. So I really love doing in-person things. But yeah, in the future I'll do that sort of thing. I've got an online shop as well, so I'll send to anywhere. And everything that I make is from my garden. So any plants, herbs, any sort of thing like that is from my garden. I source as much locally as possible and also organic and good quality things. So, and I try to make it as affordable as possible. I not here to get rich or make lots of money from. It's just sharing what I love doing with other
Mm.
people. So yeah, that's on my website as well.
Yeah, so that's awesome. And I'll put that in the description as well. So people can contact you through the website as well. Is that the best way? Or did you say you had a
Yeah.
YouTube and stuff as well? Or
No, I don't. No, not
no,
yet.
not yet.
I
No.
have I have Facebook,
Yeah.
with the same name, and yeah, so I've just been posting some videos. I'm starting to slowly build up some videos because I feel like that's easier than doing fancy writing posts and stuff because I'm not good at that.
Yeah. Well, you got to do. I love to do like it's this keep it simple thing too. You got to do stuff that's fun and easy for you as well. Like there's so many things that we could all be doing, but if we try and do stuff that's not really, like it's really painful, then like we're not going to ever do it. So you just got to. And then
Yeah,
if you know in your heart there is something you got to do, like getting online and doing online stuff, you're like, all right, I'll just try. I'll just do a little bit at a time and do it that way too. Clearly, I was
yeah,
just before this listening to someone saying that exact thing, so that's why it's just coming out of my mouth right now. But yeah,
yes.
so
So yeah, anyone can message me on my Facebook or send me an email on my website. So yeah, I'm happy to chat to anyone. Like I love just connecting with people because yeah, it can snowball into something or like the a ripple effect, it's just yeah. This small conversation or idea can, you know, help so many people. So I'm open to anything.
yeah, that's so cool. That is so cool. I've so loved connecting with you, Billy, and you've got such a big heart. You're such a grounded, awesome human, and I know, like, with everything that you're doing, there's just so much more to come as well. But you're also living in this moment now, which is just beautiful. And the fact that you can just teach people what you know about plants and gardening and just the natives or the not natives or whatever they need to be. Like, I think that's awesome. And you're doing what is on your heart and that you're here to do. And all you got to do is keep following that. And I think that you're showing everyone how to do that. So I thank you for that. I honor you for that. So is there anything else that you want to share before we sort of wrap up this one?
I just want to say thank you for inviting me on here, because even though we only spoke briefly at the festival and we're just, messaging back and forth a little bit, for you to just put so much faith in inviting me on here that I'm going to be any good at talking about myself is so I really appreciate your time and everything you're doing because you know you're just giving people the opportunity to speak about themselves and you're so good at just listening, and yeah, like giving the opportunity for people to say what they need to say without any agenda, any plan, just to let it flow naturally like a normal conversation is. It's not planned.
Mm.
It's so refreshing. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks, Billy. You're a champion. You're a champion. Thank you for that. While I'm thanking you, you know that I will. I will thank you at home for being here, for tuning in to this awesome chinwag with Billy. Definitely connect with her, especially if you want to know how to grow plants and get awesome products and just whatever it might be. I'll link everything in the show notes and the description. But thank you so much for being here. As always, leave a comment. Always love hearing from you. Subscribe, all that sort of fun stuff. And just, yeah, keep spreading your light as well. But Billy, I just want to thank you again for being on the show and just, yeah, rocking the ripple in your own awesome way.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate. So good to connect.